Imagine you've got a job where you fly all over the world to different locations, and then you decide to give that up to start your own business. That's exactly what my next guest did. She started her business from her own kitchen table. And now 9 years down the track, mega flourishing business. But the biggest thing that she wanted to achieve was giving a skill to other people and helping them along a journey. She's met all walks of life, and it all started from a kitchen bench. Ready to hear her story? Let's do it. Hi Joe, thanks for coming on the show today to have a chat to us about your business. Really excited to speak to you about how you went from the kitchen table to this massive business really that you've started. So let's get straight into it and tell me your story and how it all began.
Well, firstly, thanks so much for having me, inviting me on. It's such a pleasure to be able to share my story, I think, with others and give them the idea, to start a kitchen table business from themselves.
Yeah.
So my business started not as a business. One Christmas, I thought, hey, these empty vessels need filling with something other than tea lights, and purchased some, not so nice ingredients, shall I say, from a high street shop. Got home and I thought, okay, let's make candles. And I did a bit of research and thought, what I've bought is not eco, it's not friendly to the environment, etc. And binned it all. And just sourced some sort of plant wax, and it literally grew. So I started making candles, and a few friends were saying, hey, we'd like to learn too. Can you teach us how to make them? So I ran a little mock workshop around my kitchen table. So that's how the workshop part started as well. So yeah, it's just grown. I was pouring candles for the Fairmont Hotel in the house.
Wow.
I have a studio now, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. And when did that start? How long ago was that you started all this?
Gosh, it would probably be about 9 years ago now. I mean,
Wow.
As I say, it wasn't created at the beginning to be a business. And it's just grown organically, which has been nice. I mean, I think everybody expects this big sort of growth, but that generally doesn't happen with a sort of kitchen table business. So it's just about 9 years ago.
9 years. So when you say organically grew, was that just kind of word of mouth? What platforms did you use to advertise and sort of get the word out there organically?
I think initially it was just word of mouth.
Okay.
Word of mouth. So the first, definitely for the workshops, and the first few months, I knew everybody that came to the workshops. They were a friend of a friend. And then people started coming that I didn't know, which was a bit strange because obviously it's still around my kitchen table on a Friday and a Saturday, and inviting complete strangers to your home, and fishing the Cheerios out of the sink before everybody arrives, throwing the dishes in the washing machine,
cleaning up,
and then just trying to create this like element of zen, when people come to your home. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I have to say, having the studio and being able to set up the night before and be prepared is a lot calmer.
Yeah. So when you've got your studio now, so how many people would you host at that studio to teach them about candle making?
I've always just stuck to 4. Mm-hmm. So I have 4 people in a group, which is lovely because I never wanted that big sort of where people get lost in the background, people, a group of 4, you can be people, there can be attendees who are a little bit quieter, but in a group of 4, they can generally, by the end of it, sort of come out their shell. And the conversations that we have are amazing. You've probably read that at one table, we had a champion marmalade maker and a lady who was just off of Everest. She didn't summit. She was a couple of meters from the top. So could you imagine like the photographs that she was sharing and the conversations? I mean, honestly, I was like, you guys need to go home. It's like 10 o'clock at night, So the conversation that we had are just amazing, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity, because they come to learn candle making, but actually I learn so much. I learn about gin making, about lampshade making, because I think although there's people that come that are not creatives, I've had barristers and women, especially, well, guys come to the workshops as well, but so maybe women in the oil industry or barristers, and they come and they've perhaps never created anything in their life before. And it's just nice to give somebody a new skill that they didn't know that they had.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, I love this. I maybe, I could do this and this. And it just really gives them a sense of worth and a sense of being able to go home and recreate. The whole purpose of the workshop is that what they work with on the day is what they have in their kitchen.
Yeah, it would be a nice thing. Yeah, everyone just sitting around, just chilling and hearing each other's stories. It's that engagement. I think we're all missing that at the moment as well. It seems to be. It's on Zoom or we're really, really limited. So even you just talking about that, I'm like, oh, so it's like I might come along to one of your candle things for sure.
I know.
Just to get that, just to talk to people again. Absolutely.
And the afternoon workshops, obviously the morning workshops they get tea and coffee and scones, and the afternoon they get prosecco and scones as well. And it's so sociable. They're just like, oh, we booked into the local B&B. We're not going. We're just making a weekend of it. And so actually, a lot of the tourism in Anstruther benefits as well, because people come for the weekend, from all over the country.
So it's all helping the community. We're all helping each other. That's awesome. So in that 9 years, what's a really proud moment that stands out for you? I mean, it sounds like even just having this wee conversation to start with here, there's be quite a few proud moments for yourself with bringing people together and showing them all those things. But is there something that stands out that really resonates with you?
Yeah, I think just teaching people new skills, teaching women new skills that they perhaps didn't know that they had. That's what it's all about for me, really. I've been to some award ceremonies and Downing Street. I've been lucky enough to be invited to the Chancellor of the Exchequer's for drinks, and number 10 Downing Street as well, and the House of Lords for a few events. And actually, I'm there as a person, but actually I'm kind of representing everybody that's been through my workshops.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of there for them, if that makes sense. They've put me there, and I kind of almost feel like I take them there with me as well.
Yeah. And during this time, over a year now, with COVID, has that affected your business?
Oh my gosh, hugely. Okay. I mean, I haven't run a workshop since February last year.
Right.
So I just thought, what am I going to do? So I've been training a lot. I've been retraining myself a lot in Google Analytics and Facebook advertising. And the first week of lockdown, I just thought, okay, what am I going to do? And brought some filming equipment back from the studio and thought, right, okay, let's recreate a beginner's workshop. And just filmed it in the kitchen. And I think when you film it in your kitchen, people can relate to it. It's not in some glamorous setup where people are thinking, oh, what piece of equipment has she got there, or what is that? People can relate to that, so it makes them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So I just literally filmed. I think there's about 12 mini videos that are on the beginner's workshop. Filmed that, and actually I was lucky enough to already have the build your own candle business on a platform already. So that was already sitting on a platform, which fortunately had 2 spaces for 2 additional courses. So I was like, just put the beginners on. And that took me a few weeks, just to, because it's all transcribed and then it's all sort of built, and you have to kind of make sure that some people tested it to make sure that it was relatable. Whereas when I'm talking about it, you think everybody understands, but actually, it's not always that easy. So yeah, put the beginners online, and then a few weeks later, everybody's saying, okay, when's the advanced coming?
Yeah,
And I
right.
was like, okay, that's a bit bigger. So I think I did a lot of the filming in my studio for that. And the nice thing about the advanced workshop is actually they learn more than what they would if they came to the in-person one, because there's an additional 4 items on there that they make. So
Right. So what platform do you use to to run that program? Like, so it's obviously like a members thing that you would pay for, I would imagine, and then then it plays. And do you have access to that like lifetime, or is it just a limited
yeah,
time? Or okay,
it's currently they're all lifetime. I think the business one will go to a time limited, maybe 18 months or something, just to get people working through it. Because I think it's easy to purchase something and then think, oh yeah, I'll just, I'll get back to that later.
yeah,
But it's held on Kajabi, which is an American platform.
okay,
I'd already done courses on Kajabi and a member of an American platform. So I knew it was for me,
yeah,
because I knew it was quite, it's very easy to use. The support system that you get is magnificent. So
right,
yeah,
okay,
it works for me. It's premium,
right.
It's a sort of higher end of the scale, but it's not just like Word documents, it's a great platform.
Proper tutorials, and like you said, the assistance is really good. So if you've got any issues, they'll give you a hand with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Except obviously they're in the US, so I have to wait till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon
Right. Okay.
before they all wake up for some help. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
been great.
Nice. And so, Joe, what's the plan for yourself in 2021? There's still uncertainty. I understand that, but are you concentrating more on your online stuff now? That's kind of the direction you think you'll be heading, or?
It feels all very uncomfortable. I think, like, I love change, I embrace change, and I'm not really a person for routine. Discipline, yes, but routine, no. So yeah, I feel that big changes are happening, which is good, and it's uncomfortable, and I like that. So I think it's really because I've been able to serve so many people with the online courses that I am going to be doing more of those. Not so much more volume, but touching people, across the other side of the world, because I've already got people that are in Mexico, South
Wow.
Africa, France, India, the States, who are all on the courses, and to be able to serve them better is definitely something that I'm going to be looking forward to. So actually, perhaps the online the in-person workshops might not reopen, and I might just continue to serve online. I've got a podcast coming out. Watch this space, and that is going to be interviewing the people that are on my Build a Business
Right.
course, so that they can share their stories, to inspire other people as well.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, speaking of podcasts, obviously I've started this channel and it's been going quite well. Interesting people I've been interviewing as well. It's been really, really good. Is there any podcasters and or motivational things that you've been watching or listening to that have inspired you over the course of the years?
Oh gosh, you don't want to get me started. I'm a freak when it comes to like book reading, and I have to say I'm quite new to podcasts, because I think I was such an avid reader that actually I didn't even have time to watch or listen to a podcast. I was sort of hell bent on getting the lists of book titles that I wanted to read, so people can actually download that from my site. I like a challenge. So a couple of years ago, I read 100 books in a year,
Wow.
business and self-development, and I kept quite a tight list of the books, so actually people can download that off my site, just to give you a ready-made reading list. If
Yeah.
somebody's thinking, oh, what am I going to read next? I'm like, just have that
so that's on
list.
your website. You can go on and
You can go onto
blogs?
you can go onto the blog that's I think the blog's Mind Blowing Challenge, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can read that.
I noticed that you've got Ask and Act. Can you tell me a wee bit about that? That's yours, is it?
It is, yeah. That was launched.
We plug. We'll put that on the screen somewhere. It's a plug.
Yeah, it's shameless self-promotion.
That's so good.
Yeah, that was launched last year in lockdown.
Right.
That came out in September and is now available on Amazon.
So
And that
good.
it was just really to share stories and knowledge, like little nuggets of funny airline stories. Obviously, I used to be a long haul air hostess, so there's some little cheeky stories in there, and it's not an X-rated version. It's like that'll come out at a later date. Yeah, everybody keeps on messaging, am I in it? Am I in it? I'm like, no.
Next version you are.
Next version. So this is just really a business book. It does say 10 tips for entrepreneurs, but it's just to kind of share everything that I use in business that's kind of helped me. That I think, oh gosh, I wish I had that at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's cool. I definitely have to, because I'm a huge podcaster. I love listening to different podcasts. I usually catch the train, certain parts of Glasgow when I'm working sometimes, and I've got these. These are my best friend and my phone, and I love just that journey time where you can just unplug for a little while and listen to some stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's
and Audible as well. Audible was a great because obviously I was reading paper books, but also I was reading at any opportunity, any cue. I was like, fantastic, a cue I can pop in my earbuds. So yeah, I think Audible was a great tool to have to get your books in your ears. But I'm currently reading Vishen Lakhani's book, The Buddha and the Badass.
All right.
So that I started that yesterday. That's pretty amazing.
It's pretty good. Nice.
But I don't read fiction. I'm not a fiction reader.
Yeah. So in regards to giving advice to someone who was starting their own business, what would be something, if you could say, give them a number of bits of advice before they start, what would that be?
Oh gosh, I'd probably say that they would have to have like a really strong why they wanted to do it. Because I think people, especially if they were just maybe creating a candle business, well, any business, I would say, have a really strong why, because if you're not really sure, just don't do it. Because I think, when the poo hits the fan, you've really got to, have an unwavering, this is what it's about and this is why I'm doing it, If somebody comes along and shakes you off your track, like a nasty old troll or something, you've got to think, what is your why? Really think why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing it for the money, it's not about that. You're about, for me, it's serving my customers, and I think that comes back from like the airline, when I used to work, I didn't work in first class all the time, but when I did, and you're there to serve, you're there to, I'm not, I don't create candles for me. I don't create the workshops for me. It's for what I create. I think when you're given something, not as a gift, but when you're given something as a talent, it's not for you. It's for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's for you to share it out. It comes through you to, to give to somebody else. For somebody else to benefit. So I would definitely say, I would say, have bags of energy, enthusiasm, discipline, do the bad stuff when you really don't want to, like eat that frog, like Brian Tracy says, get the rubbish jobs done first. And if you hit a plateau, keep on going.
Okay.
Because there's times in the past that I've probably hit a plateau in life. And then I've thought, oh, that's the time that I'm supposed to give up on this and try something else. But it's actually not. That's the time when you should be pushing harder.
Absolutely. So with your work and your family life, how do you balance that? I think that's something I've been struggling with lately. I've got my home office here. I'm actually moving into Hamilton Centre, and I'm going to be starting a hub there where other businesses can come. I'm going to run workshops and things like that.
Oh,
So difficult at
fantastic.
home, because I've got two wee ones, but just the distractions there. How do you cope with that with your business? Is that, I mean, you've got a studio, but sometimes you work from home as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Sometimes I think, I actually think when people talk about like work-life balance, I always think when I think about the word balance, I see it as something that's not moving, that's kind of just static. So for me, it's about you work on the business, you work on it's always moving for me. And I'm an early bird, I'll get up early, and I get up at 5, between 4:30 and 5, and I work on my business between 5 and, say, well, at the moment it's probably about 8 before my son gets up. So I work on those hours on my business so that when I go into my business, I can work in it. So I would say, because I've trademarked it. I have a method called 5 to 9 method. So it's because people will say, "Oh, I don't have time. I don't have." I'm like, do you know what? I built all my courses using the 5 to 9 method, where you get up at 5 a.m., you work till 9. And so this is if you have a 9 to 5 job, work till 9 on your side hustles. So you've got 4 hours in the morning. You go and do your 9 to 5, and then you come home and then you work 5 till 9, and then you sleep 9 till 5. And it's a bit hardcore, but I just figure if you're passionate about building something or getting something done, the hours are there for you. So you've got 8 hours to work on your side hustle.
That's a good way of looking at it. I've never really thought about it. That's actually a really
8
good
hours
shout.
to work on your day job,
Yeah, that's cool. Might actually, maybe I'll apply that to my life. I tend to go to bed a bit later because obviously having young kids, and you sort of get them bed at 7:30 or 8 o'clock sometimes. But then you just it's like quiet time. You're like, you want to spend time together and do that. But you're right. I could be doing it in the morning. Definitely. I could just go to bed a little bit earlier and get up at that time and then work through and work on the business. I've just got something from you. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm looking for people to try it out. So if you'd be interested.
Absolutely. 100% I would be. That's a good shout. In regards to your favorite platform that you use to advertise your business, what's one that is your favorite, I guess?
Ooh, none of them.
None of them?
No, actually. So I use Facebook a lot. I use Facebook advertising a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing Google Ads training. And I ventured into YouTube a little bit as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, but it's good for my business. So
yeah. And what Instagram do you use? Are you on Instagram at all?
I'm on Instagram, and it's nice because it's aesthetic. But I'm not a huge fan. It doesn't bring in traffic to my website, so
yeah,
it's there.
Yeah, nice.
Just for the fun.
I really appreciate you coming on today and speaking to myself. And yeah, I'll definitely be downloading your book, Ask and Act, for sure. And I definitely will sign up for your 5 to 9 thing. That's fantastic. Great idea. Thanks very much, guys, for watching, and make sure you subscribe and like to our channel. And thanks so much, Jo, for coming on today. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.